Welcome back, everybody. I'm Michael Foley, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a cross choke from closed guard in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So for this video, I'm bringing in my student, Will. Will's been with me 20 years this month, so he was one of the first people to register when we opened up this academy in St. John's, and he's been with me ever since. Let's look at the choke itself before we put it in context to closed guard. What I want to do is I want to open up my partner's collar. One hand goes in on one side nice and deep. The other hand goes in on the other side nice and deep. And something you got to keep in mind here is I'm using this part of my wrist right here, so the bone on the top of my wrist, and I want to line it up with this part on his neck right here just below the ears. So I'm going to go in nice and deep on one side and then nice and deep on the other side, and I want to be in so deep that my fingers can almost touch behind his neck, and I've got this rounded shape with my wrists. Once I got that, I'm going to let the gi slide back through my fingers until I can turn my wrists up, and that looks like this, and I want to push the tops of my wrists into the side of his neck. And then once I have that, I bring him in close and I squeeze. Let's look at it from closed guard. So the first version of this choke, it's the most basic one. Will's already broken down, so his posture's already down. From right here, one hand goes in the collar, just like we saw when we were standing, super deep. This one here, I'm gonna go underneath here. My fingers are almost touching behind the back of his head. Then I let the gi slide through my fingers until I can curl my wrists up. Now from here, I'm gonna bring him in with my knees and squeeze. I get that squeeze by pulling my elbows back and bringing my chest up. The second version of this one, it's the more common type. My partner's got good posture and he's got his arms framed now because he's getting ready to pass my guard. I don't want that to happen. So what's gonna happen from here is I'm gonna break these grips first. It's the first thing you have to deal with. And in order to do that, for now, we're gonna scoop underneath like this. I'm gonna put pressure on the back of his wrists. From here, I get to the inside, I break the grips, bring him forward with my legs. This hand's gonna block the bicep. This one grabs his head. This is the one right here that's gonna keep the posture. So if Will starts to posture back up, I'm gonna let go of the bicep. This hand goes underneath and I put that into the collar, same as I did before. But this hand here, instead of coming back around the front and putting it in the collar, I'm gonna put my thumb right here in the collar, just below his ear. And as he's pulling up, I'm gonna flare my elbow, let him pop his head out. Then I turn my wrist into his neck. I'm using the bottom part of my wrist for this instead of the top, but it's the same effect. I bring him in with my legs, bring up my chest, drive my elbows back, and I get the tap. Now the third version of this is the one you do if the last one doesn't work. So everything's the same. I bring my partner down, control the bicep, control his posture by controlling his head. He postures up. My right hand goes into his right collar. And I'm trying to get this grip right here, but maybe Will starts to block with this arm, or he postures up really fast, okay? But I still got this grip. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep fighting to make it look like I'm going for that collar, and I'm gonna let him defend. Good. Now from here, I'm gonna use my legs to move my head all the way here to the left, and I bring my hand underneath his armpit, and then underneath my own arm right here. So I wanna get in super deep underneath my own arm. And then I stick that hand in the collar, the same configuration that we used when we were standing here. Boom, then I bring him in with my legs, and I get the choke. Just a quick review. Start from closed guard, I break the grips, I bring him in with my legs, block the bicep, control his head. He starts to posture back up, hand goes in the collar. So the first one, I'm gonna go for this grip here. Boom. Then we'll reset, do the same thing, bring him in, control the head, hand goes in the collar. I start to go for this grip. He starts to posture up or control my bicep. So I go underneath, get the far side grip, bring him in, and finish. And you can play those two back and forth off each other. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. I'm Michael Foley. I'll see you on the mats.